R. Kelly's federal trial in Chicago is almost over. All three defense teams have rested their cases as of Friday. Daryl McDavid was on the stand for 3 whole days, the entire time. And he testified at length. And I guess the jury will determine what to think of his testimony. His testimony was basically about he really believed R. Kelly was innocent and there was no conspiracy to rig the trial. And he didn't know about any of the other accusers until this trial. And his views have kind of shifted. He didn't say R. Kelly was guilty, but he was kind of saying it without saying it. So we'll see if Daryl McDavid's testimony helped the defense or did it hurt it. Did him getting up there talking help? We'll see when the verdict comes. If everybody gets convicted, Daryl McDavid's testimony did not help. If they get acquitted, maybe it did help. So we'll see. I don't think the government proves conspiracy. You can't prove a conspiracy if you don't charge Lisa Van Allen and Charles Freeman, because they were the ones extorting and doing all this dumb shit. So if there was a conspiracy, the government witness Lisa Van Allen and the government witness Chuck Freeman, aka Charles Freeman, and Keith Morrell were the leaders of the conspiracy, not R. Kelly, McDavid, or Brown. R. Kelly was a victim of a malicious conspiracy to extort him out of large amounts of cash. R. Kelly has not had a moment of peace since he became famous. He has brought so much joy into the world, and all people do is come around him with an agenda. It's sad. We lost an entire day of testimony this week. The federal government, with their sneaky asses, decided to shut down the courthouse on Tuesday. So some defense witnesses who were going to come in Tuesday weren't able to come in Wednesday. So we lost some defense witnesses. And if we get a guilty verdict, I hope Jennifer Bonjean brings that up. The feds are disgusting. They're evil. They're liars. They're railroading R. Kelly. And at the end of Daryl McDavid's testimony, they tried to bring in Barry Hankerson at the last minute to do a rebuttal about everything McDavid said on the stand, because McDavid said that Barry Hankerson paid women to falsely come forward and say that R. Kelly had sex with them when they were underage in an attempt to get revenge because he believed R. Kelly owed him money. And they wanted to bring Barry on the stand to do a rebuttal. But they said, Judge, we need more time to get him prepared. The judge said, if you have him right now and you have new evidence, you can present it. Otherwise, I'm going to send the jury home. I'm not giving you extra time. I have to hurry this case along. And so they didn't have Barry Hankerson right there ready to go. They wanted to prepare him. So the judge sent the jury home and told them to be back Monday at 10 a.m. for closing arguments. So the judge wasn't having any of the shenanigans of the feds. If the feds wanted Barry Hankerson to be a witness, they should have subpoenaed him. And he could have been a witness for them, in the trial. But they didn't. Because they knew Barry is problematic. Barry Hankerson has tried to kill his ex-girlfriend. He has tried to kill several women. He has people kidnapped, He has beaten women. you break up with Barry Hankerson, you know, he'll tell the world you have AIDS. You know, he's a very vengeful man. And he keeps saying, oh, I was so distraught when R. Kelly had sex with Aaliyah. But he stayed on as R. Kelly's manager until the end of 1999, early 2000. He got fired in 2000, late 1999, 2000. When was the alleged Aaliyah marriage? In 1996, wasn't it? 1995, 1996. So if you were so distraught, why you didn't quit the day you found out? Why you waited until the end of 1999 when R. Kelly fired you to leave? You see, these people are liars. Barry Hankerson doesn't give a damn about Aaliyah. He didn't give a damn if she had sex with R. Kelly, didn't have sex with R. Kelly, if she married this man or that man. He didn't care. He just cared about the cash coming in. That's what it is. He was angry when he lost R. Kelly as a client. The man is evil. Barry Hankerson is evil. And I'm glad the judge didn't allow his foolishness on the stand. Because it would have dragged the trial out and Barry was going to get up there and lie. He was going to get up there and lie. So the judge, you know, this judge is a lot fairer than Judge Ann Donnelly, in my opinion. Judge Ann would have allowed Barry Hankerson to come up there and talk. You know, she's an evil woman and she had a bitter hatred for R. Kelly. You know, she actually said she had her mind made up that she was going to give him 30 years. You're a demonic whore. She was evil, y'all. I can't wait till R. Kelly gets out of that New York case. I have a feeling that this judge won't be as harsh if R. Kelly is convicted in the Chicago case. I think he's going to run it concurrent. I think he's going to run whatever sentence, if R. Kelly is convicted in the Chicago trial, concurrent to the New York case. So he won't be really getting any more time. God bless R. Kelly. God bless him. An innocent man in jail. 3 years. Whatever sins you believe he committed, he's paid for them tenfold. He's paid for them tenfold. He lost his freedom. He's bashed all over the world. Name drugged through the mud by mainstream media. That's enough. That's enough. It's enough. You know, it's more than enough. All I see is sinners judging other sinners. Y'all are so happy to see a black man go to jail for 30 years, knowing that he don't deserve that shit, knowing that we have George Zimmerman out here not doing any time, even though he shot Trayvon in cold blood. He's running around suing the parents, filing lawsuit after lawsuit against Trayvon's parents, and nobody says anything about it. He's allowed to roam free. The lady who got Emmett Till lynched, Carolyn Bryant, she hasn't served 1 day in jail for getting a black boy lynched. They say, oh, she's sick and dying of cancer. She in her 80s. We can't send her to jail now. It's too late. What you mean it's too late? It wasn't too late to send Mr. Cosby to jail even though he had health problems. Y'all let him sit in there for 2 years. Y'all said, we don't care if Mr. Cosby is in his 80s. He got to go sit for raping white women in the 1960s. That's what they said. But Carolyn Bryant is too old to go to jail for a lynching that she participated in of a little black boy. The hypocrisy of this country never ceases to amaze me. The hypocrisy never ceases to amaze me. People had all this smoke for R. Kelly over allegations from 42-year-old women, 50-year-old women, 45-year-old women, getting up there saying they're victims of child pornography, getting on the stand saying R. Kelly molested me when they're in the same age group. This is insane. This is insane. They say R. Kelly is a pedophile, but there are no minors that are accusing him currently. All we have seen are women in their 40s and 50s taking a stand. These people are evil, man. Playing with this man's life like this. Playing with this man's life. Closing statements have got to be on point. Jennifer Bonjean needs to attack that tape. She needs to say the words, R. Kelly's an innocent man. You need to acquit him on all counts. The government hasn't proven their case. Roshana is not on the tape, because if she was on the tape, the father wouldn't have hung around him for decades. That's all you gotta say. That's the reasonable doubt about the tape right there. Put the federal government on trial and close an argument, say that they strong-armed people to testify. They told them, you're going to go to jail if you don't testify and say what we want you to say. So Roshana had to say that she was on the tape, but it's not her. R. Kelly's an innocent man. That's our defense. It could work. R. Kelly does not deserve the rest of his life behind bars, y'all. This is his third trial. No other celebrity has been on so many trials. This is R. Kelly's third trial. And then, depending on what happens here, we might still have another trial with Kim Fox. You know, Kim Fox is still trying to push forward with the Chicago State case. That's where he's charged with aggravated sexual abuse of Roshana Landfair, Lanita Carter, Heather Williams, and Geronda Pace. Those are the 4 women that he's facing charges for in the Chicago State trial. And then after the Chicago State trial, all we have left is the Minnesota prostitution charge, which is like a 6 months in jail if he gets convicted on that. That's the dumbest case I ever seen. The Minnesota case should have been dropped. I've never seen a celebrity railroaded like this. They railroaded him. The judge tossed out Jim DeRogatis' subpoena. The judge said it wasn't necessary for Jim to testify. Of course, Jim DeRogatis went on social media and said it's a great day for the First Amendment. My thing is, why is he continuing to report on R. Kelly if he doesn't want to take the stand? It's like he wants to profit off the situation, but anytime he's called to take the stand, all of a sudden, oh, I can't do it. I can't do it. Reporter's privilege. I have rights as a reporter. I have rights as a journalist. No, take the stand. If you believe everything you have said in your book, take the stand. This man, Jim DeRogatis, is a sick racist, and I can't wait until he gets his karma. He sits up here. He bashes R. Kelly for decades. He writes a book called Soulless about a black man. But he hasn't written any books on any white men who have been accused. It's a lot of white men who have been accused in this Me Too shit, starting with Charlie Sheen off the top of my head. Charlie Sheen gave a woman HIV and they just said, okay, give her $120,000 and that's it. No jail time. Can you believe it? No federal charges for Charlie Sheen. No books, no documentaries, no takedown of Charlie Sheen. Charlie Sheen is one of the most protected men in Hollywood. I don't know what kind of organizations he belongs to, but Charlie Sheen has ran amok for decades. And he has never faced 3 trials like R. Kelly. And he never will face 3 trials. I'm hoping for a not guilty verdict in the Chicago federal case. All of the accusers were liars. R. Kelly is not a pedophile. R. Kelly is not an evil human being. He's a good person who has spent way too much time behind bars. He never should have been arrested. He never should have been charged. He never should have been convicted. He deserves his life back. He deserves his freedom back. He deserves to be able to be outside and enjoy some nice sunshine. He deserves to be able to go on a vacation. He deserves peace. He deserves happiness. He's brought us so much joy through music for decades. And I just want him to be happy. At this point, I don't even care if he releases another song. I just want him free and chilling somewhere on the beach, just enjoying himself and having a good time. He has been done wrong. Nobody deserves this type of crucifixion that he has received. I wouldn't wish this on my worst enemy. We have seen so many white men do worse and not get a half of what R. Kelly has received, based on decades-old allegations from women who are now in their 40s, acting like they're 12 years old, coming up there talking about minor 1, minor 2. No, you're 44 years old. 44-year-old women are not minors. Where are the minors? Kim Fox ran a whole campaign saying there were so many minors coming forward. We hadn't seen one minor yet. The lies that these people have told on this man, may they burn in hell for it. They'll have to answer to God for everything that they have done. For every single rotten thing that they have done. Continue to pray for R. Kelly. This weekend, pray for his lawyers. Pray that their closing statements be very impactful. Because remember, the prosecution gets to go the longest for closing statements. They get to start, and then they let the defense team go and talk, and then they come back after the defense team to rebut what the defense team just said. So the prosecution has the longest time up there talking to the jury. But what we need to pray about is that the closing arguments from Jennifer Bongine are very strong and powerful and impactful. R. Kelly does not need another guilty verdict. He doesn't. He doesn't deserve another guilty verdict, especially for this case. He didn't deserve one for the first case in New York. It could go either way, y'all. Right now it's 50-50. He could be acquitted. He could be found guilty. We got to stay prayed up. We got to stay humble. We can't celebrate until we hear a not guilty verdict. I'll be praying all weekend for him. I will be praying all weekend for him. You know, everybody deserves prayer. So many people have taken advantage of R. Kelly. Everybody just saw him as an ATM. It's a shame. It's a shame. And people even use his name to build a YouTube channels to bash him. You know, you got people made a lot of money and got out of poverty by bashing R. Kelly. It's sad. His name has generated so much wealth for people who like him and for people who don't. Everybody has been surviving off R. Kelly since day one. It's one of the channels that constantly bashes R. Kelly and a few others. You know, I'm not going to list their names, but it's just comical to me that these people were in such bad shape before Surviving R. Kelly came out, and then they blew up on the internet and they were able to get new homes and new cars. They should be thanking the man. But you know, God don't like ugly. You know, when you laugh at somebody in a bad position, you can guarantee that your time will be next. You know, I never delight when I see somebody fall. I never delight when I see somebody suffering, especially a good, wonderful person like R. Kelly. He done deserve this shit. He done deserve this shit. Three years in jail so far for some BS. Anyway, free R. Kelly, and fuck anybody who don't like him, and fuck the feds, and fuck them bitches. 42-year-old women are not minors.